Yeah.
to change,
Not to change.
Not to change,
Yeah.
that they should not do something that they normally don't do. But in the example that you showed, that the symptoms need to be are expected from speech. The doctor says, your ear is swollen, and then
Yeah.
this comes with
Yeah.
recognition. But this means that the doctor needs to say this.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he just says, it doesn't look good, then
Yeah.
you cannot.
Yeah.
So that's an example where the doctor needs to be instructed, that
Yeah.
he has to be specific.
Yeah, but this is an issue of, say, the education of medical doctors.
Yeah.
And medical doctors, over the years, they have been trained to be very explicit in their observations, to tell people, okay, your ear is swollen. Okay. And that is because otherwise people feel, okay, observed by some, let's say, external entity, and they do not feel involved. So that is, we do not study that, but we take that as a starting point. But
so my question was, how often does this occur? But the answer, I understand, is very little.
Very little, yeah. And that is also, let's say, of course, we are dependent on that. That is true, but yeah, that is the way it is. And when the doctor does not say it is red, it is simply will not be in the report. Too bad.
Okay. And the related question was that now the doctor makes a diagnosis. He says
yeah.
infection. But if you already extract all the symptoms and all the complaints,
yeah.
Then you might be able to help the doctor. Say, I think
yes.
this might be.
Yeah.
Is that something that you want?
No.
And
no. That's also a design decision. We do not go into the medical domain for decision support. First of all, this has been studied for decades already. There's a huge medical decision support system, so that's where, let's say, the innovativeness of our approach is not, let's say, to be seen. And also that then our software would turn into a medical device, because we are taking, let's say, proposing decisions. So then you are in from a legal medical legal perspective in another ball game, and we want to stay on the side of just reducing the administrative work. No? Yes?
So I'm from Berlin, and there we have an airport which is now 10 years delayed.
Yes.
How long do you plan for your project?
Well, my project is, let's say, I'm trying to hope to get funding, etc. Of course, my retirement is in 5 years or 6 years from now. But no, I expect that in 2-3 years we already have a working prototype that we can do some for specific consultations. For instance, we are now talking, I cannot tell all the details, but there is a large national program for so-called triagists. These are people on the care providers, huisartspost, who take in phone calls. And those phone calls, especially when people have a heart attack, they are very critical, and they have a protocol for that. And we are analyzing about 3,000 of those phone calls in order to see whether they match the protocol, whether the protocol can be, let's say, improved, but also to see how our speech recognition helps to fill in all the details of the protocol, so that the triagist only can deal with the talking and not so much with the administration. Because of course, the decision for when a heart attack, well, should we send an ambulance, or can somebody come him or herself to the hospital, is very critical, and that has to be made through this phone call. And there we see that we can already have early adoption of our technology. Is that an example, answer to your question of that I do not want to follow the Berlin example? To some extent. Okay? Case? Yeah.
You chose a very architecture.
Yeah.
You didn't bother us with lots of details about individual components of
No.
the system.
No.
And not very much about how well it works either. Okay, so
Well, that's my profession.
Your basic idea behind the architecture of course is to, so you have an input which is mostly dialogue and then some sensor data. You map it to these triples, and then you map the triples to text again.
Yeah.
So that's a possible architecture, of course. Now, in this day and age, a lot of people would probably have thought of different architecture. For example, they might have thought of deep learning, where you go directly from these inputs to the textual inputs, so to speak, the textual outputs, without the benefit of these triples.
Yeah.
Right? So
That's Google's plan.
why is this particular architecture chosen?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Well, first of all, why did we do? In fact, you could also say, why not have the transcript and then go here? Because when we have millions of transcripts and we have millions of those reports, we can do some build some neural network. Yeah, and that is what Google is doing, and Amazon is doing. So when you read those in the news that Google has bought some large company or has collaborations, they do this. And this helps my project a lot, because then people become more aware of this. That technology will be in this business. So that, however, this is a statistical approach. So when you have we use reasoning over here. And that means that if your particular disease is very special, that is not that falls in a certain class that is not found with a neural network. Yeah, too bad. That is so that's one. Also, yeah, Google relies for this technology for the moment on cloud technology, which is simply out of the question. So that's yeah. And lastly, it's also related to that it must be trained with lots of instances in natural language of the specific country. So when you want to do it in Dutch or in Turkish or in Arabic or whatever Mandarin variant, then you also need to. And our approach is more generic, but we can discuss that. But and this is always a very nice paragraph in the related work section of our papers, that we are different. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, maybe. Yeah, you first. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting to see that we're looking at, let's say, all kinds of symptoms and then mapping them directly to some kind of cause or some kind of disease. But it doesn't really see.
No, we're not mapping them. We are only, let's say, we are listening. So we hear that the doctor says that. So
you're not concerned with decision making itself.
no, that is what Marijn asked. We're not in that area. So we simply are listeners, and we type out the report. Yeah, that's his. Yeah.
So your approach seems very heavily reliant on the use of ontologies. So understanding what the relation is between various things like is this utterance diagnosis or
concept. Yeah.
And then you showed the ontology of the body as well. So do you gather existing ontologies or?
Yeah, these are all existing.
Do you connect them yourself, or are these already connected? Because I can imagine that, especially if you want.
There are web services. You can. Okay. Yeah, there are web services. Yeah, or when they are not web services, we simply copy them, and then we have some updating process.
So when a patient says something about their ear, you're able to find that concept in the web service, using the web service.
Not at the moment, but that's the plan. Yeah.
So you said at the beginning of your talk that you had the idea or you want to have a project like this. I think you said it, going to Mars. Right?
Yeah.
Looking back on your career, would you say, why haven't I done this 30 years ago? Or do you think, well, I needed all this experience and safe ground, and now finally I have the opportunity to do this?
Very good question. I think it is a bit of both. on the one hand, I think I can, let's say, from a career perspective, that, let's say, I do not, let's say, need to obtain tenure for that. think I've done my work for that, hopefully. So that is easy. And as scientists, of course, we are relatively free to choose our own object of research, and which is great. However, I definitely want to do, let's say, from a perspective, I need to do something with architecture, because that I know, and requirements in architecture. So I need to build upon my, let's say, expertise. But there is, when you read interviews with scientists, they, let's say, scientists that really, let's say, made, let's say, a lot of success, or obtained a lot of success. They, some of them say, well, you need to switch every 7 years from your topic, because then the topic is, you have looked at various things, and you know the issues, and the big breakthroughs are not there anymore. And when you make a switch, that's And so actually, it was very occasionally that I met with a lady called Linguistic, and that she was talking, okay, I want to do something that really matters for my PhD, and we just chatted, and I had some money, the department had some money, and then we could start. Because this dream was when I am in my with my in-laws around the table at a birthday, and then they talk about all their difficulties, and I said, Sjaak, can't you do something for us? So that's,
I think actually that we are a bit too short on time, and there's like nice closing words. So I also have a couple of questions. Han also was raising his hand, but maybe we can do them offline and give the people who need to leave a chance to do so. Would it be okay?
Well, it seems that you want me to say yes. I've got.
I'll give Han an answer, a short answer.
Thank you. I've got a simple question. You want to reduce the administrative burden.
Yeah.
Suppose now I make a program, and that's as a doctor, you already know the name of the patient, but you can just repeat it. Sjaak, Brinkkemper, and then as soon as something goes up, you say to your smartphone, whatever, what is going on, and it's automatically typed.
Yeah.
If you compare it to your research and your goals, how far am I then on the scale from 1 to 100, 0 to 100%?
Yeah, difficult. Let's say the dictation is already being utilized, and so radiologists and pathologists, they use dictation a lot, and of course the doctors could use that. However, let's say they find it very, let's say, obstructive in their consultation time. They just want to be with the patient and have the dialogue with them and talk with them. And but it would be annoying. But well, how do you observe yourself when you're talking with your doctor and he or she is constantly typing? Or he says, well. Han Hogeveen, he has a serious otitis externa on his left or right ear. I have to ask. So that is, it is not, they do not want to work like that, I expect. Is that an answer to your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I also have a couple of questions, but I will ask them offline.
That is, yeah.
Or officially closed, and we have a bit of time for questions.
Yeah.
Thank you again for this presentation.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.